Welcome to model drawing and learning about ratio. The goal of this lesson is to learn how to model a ratio word problem using a unit bar model. So the first step we always take when we take a look at word problems is we read the problem and determine what it is all about. So here we go. Carmen and Jason shared a meal for lunch. Because Jason ate more, he paid 3/5 of the $30 bill and Carmen paid the rest. How much did they each pay? All right, so we have a couple of things to think about. First of all, we know that in the problem, they've used the fraction 3/5 to describe the amount that Jason paid, the portion of the bill. We can also think of this as a ratio. Remember, a ratio is a comparison of two or more quantities and show that their values relate to one another. When you think about a fraction like 3/5, sometimes you can think of fractions like ratios, and sometimes it doesn't always work that way. So we're going to shift to thinking about models. First thing, if we're looking at Carmen and Jason's bill, we can think about the amount Jason paid as part of the bill and $30 as the whole. So we're going to draw a unit bar that shows this. Simply draw a long rectangle, and we know that Jason paid 3 out of 5 parts. So I'm going to divide this rectangle into 3 parts. Now you don't have to worry too much about getting everything equal. What you're assuming though is that you know that every box in the model, every unit is an equal portion. Okay. Now we know that Jason paid 3/5 of the bill, so his portion is represented here. And the entire bill was $30, so we can show that all 5 parts are equal to $30. All right, so that's fine, that's good. But remember, our goal is to figure out the amounts that both Jason and Carmen paid. And if we can figure out how those relate to one another, we can solve this problem. So I'm going to take a look at a different model, and that's called the part-part model, or part-to-part. And we're going to compare the portion that Jason paid to the portion that Carmen paid. Well, you can see in the original model that if Jason paid 3 parts, then I think Carmen paid the other 2. So let's break up how we look at their work. Let's make Jason, we're going to draw a unit bar for him, but we're going to only make it for his portion, so I'm going to make it 3 units long. And then we're going to have Carmen, and because she paid the other 2 parts out of the total, we're going to make hers 2 parts long. Okay, so that's the second part in our problem-solving step, is to draw the unit bars to model the relationship between 2 or more quantities. Then we're going to read it again and make sure that we label everything really well. We know that the total bill is $30, so the Jason's share combined with Carmen's share is $30. So I'm going to show that these two total $30. All right. Then we also know that the portion that each of them contributed to the bill, and what we want to figure out really is the amount that they each paid. So we want to figure out Jason's individual amount and Carmen's individual amount. Let's move that up. It's very important that we label all unknown parts of our model with question marks, so that those symbols tell us that that's what we're going to try to figure out. When we draw the unit bars, we don't know the exact value of the unit or box, but we do know that each unit represents equal amounts. So if we count, we know that Jason has 3 and Carmen has 2, that's 5 unit bars, and those 5 unit bars total to $30. And so we're going to use this information to solve the problem. Since 5 units equals $30, and I'm going to do my best to print here, then 1 unit and I'm going to abbreviate unit, is equal to 30 divided by 5, which we know is $6. If each and every one of these units is $6, I can even think about filling in $6 in each of these. Then we can easily figure out what Jason and Carmen paid. Jason paid 3 portions, so 3 times 6 is $18. Carmen paid 2 portions, or 2 units, worth at $6 a piece, and that's $12. When I look at their total, I can double check, is $18 plus $12 $30? Absolutely. It looks like we've solved the problem.